In this video, I'll be performing a series of tests to see if there's really any difference in penetration power from one pellet to the next. I'm going to be using 9 different projectiles in this test. I'll briefly walk you through them. The Gammo Armor Piercing, the Gammo Raptor, the Crossman High Velocity, the Crossman Destroyer, the Crossman Wad Cutter, the Gammo Rocket, the Gammo Redfire, a Copperhead BB for comparison, and a powderless .22 caliber round, which is supposed to have about the same power as an air gun. All of the shots will be fired from this Crossman M4 177. I chose a pump gun because I figured it was the best way to ensure a uniform amount of power, since a CO2 power gun would have slightly less power after each shot. The .22 caliber round will be fired from this Walther P22 handgun. In this test, I'm going to use a phonebook. They aren't good for much else these days. I put it in a tub and I soaked it in water for several days to make sure it was completely saturated. This has been soaking for a week now. Then I carefully went through the phonebook and determined the last page each projectile had penetrated. Here are the results. Here are the different tested projectiles along the left, and imagine this part as a cross-section of the phonebook. Since the phonebook had almost exactly 1,000 pages, I created a graphic exactly 1,000 pixels wide, and I'll show you a representation of how many pages each one penetrated. The Gammo Armor Piercing made it to page 240. The Gammo Raptor also made it to page 240. The Crossman High Velocity made it to page 66, which was the lowest scoring pellet tested. The Crossman Destroyer made it to page 197. The Crossman Wad Cutter made it to page 186. The Gammo Rocket made it to page 221. The Gammo Redfire made it to page 197. And the Copperhead BB made it to page 119. And last, to my great surprise, the powderless .22 round penetrated darn near the whole phonebook, landing at page 781. So, let's talk about my final thoughts on the results here. I'll make a confession that when I started this project, I honestly thought I'd be getting in front of the camera at the end and saying that there really isn't much difference between any of these different types of pellets, because I honestly thought that stuff like this was more marketing mumbo-jumbo than anything else. And to my surprise, the more expensive, highly hyped pellets seem to be the best performing ones. The second surprise I had was these powderless .22s. Says right here, without gunpowder, so that means it should only have a primer. I really wasn't anticipating this to be as loud or penetrate nearly as far as it did. Now, CCI makes something similar to this as well, which I've been trying to get my hands on them, but I can't. In fact, if you go into any gun store right now, you'll find all the ammo sold out due to the recent panic that they might be banned. So I haven't got a chance to test the CCI yet. We'll do that in a later video sometime. Yeah, I was extremely surprised at the power that these had. I mean, disappointed in a way, because I was really looking for something that would be more similar comparison power to a pellet gun that I could shoot, and apparently that's not it. It's too powerful. So anyway, it was an interesting test, and I hope everybody got something interesting out of it. Leave me some comments. Tell me what you'd like to see in the next video. Thanks.